Oh, you also keep quiet, no? When I'm talking, I am switch off my mic. Huh? Right, now you can hear. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
ඉතින් අනේ කියන්න බෑනේ මම unmute කරලා නැහැ කියලා. Okay. Right. Now what I'm going to I'll repeat it again what I told. Now this from next week onwards, I have something in small area to be covered under type of clients, which I'll give you a sort of a question and answer and try to answer. Don't worry about it, I'll cover. Then most probably, if I time, I'll start the old one, but otherwise I'll start the marketing next week onward. The final episode or final section of my syllabus, marketing we are going to cover. And mind you, I told you at the beginning, marketing and HR, you never going to learn other than my subject, right? And this question number 2, also is a mixture of marketing and operation, as well as the protections and things like that. Then these questions are very easy. There's no any ready-made perfect answer, right? But only thing is, if you're working in a bank, you have a little advantage, over advantage of answering this question, right? So let me start. Today we are going to cover, right, during this 3 hour period, a 2 hour period, we try to cover this entire question and answers. I told you to see whether you can answer. I don't know whether you have done or not, but it's up to you. But I will try to tell you how to answer questions like this. Right. Take the first question. In these questions appear in 2021, the January, represented the 20 March and 20 November question, right? Okay, first read that question, will you? 5 marks. Now I'll tell you how to answer questions like this. Okay, first read Mr. Tilakaratna case, right? First read that question, will you? Mr. Tilakaratna. Okay, Mr. Tilakaratna case, right? Okay, we'll read, will you, this question? Whereof there may be a 5 marks for what? First one, Mr. Tilakaratna, right? Okay, just read with me. Mr. Tilakaratna, maintains a current account with CBC Bank for the past 10 years, right? And he receives his salary on 25th of each month through this account, right? And he has arranged standing orders for his children's school fees, utility spelling mistake, right? Utility bill payments to be effected on 26th day of the month from his account based on the receipt of his salary. Now, instead of drawing checks. Now, due to the delay in transmission, his employer has failed to transfer his salary during the month of January on time. Usually, the credited to account on 25th, and the very next day, the bank initiating a standing order. January, and the bank has this employer has failed to transfer the salary during the month of January as scheduled on 25th, but instead they have credited transfer the money on February 5th. The bank has reversed all the standing orders payment due to the lack of funds in the account. You know what happened if you don't have the account in your current account or whatever accounts, you cannot process your standing order. And Mr. Tilakaratna has received several calls from the beneficiaries. Who are the beneficiaries? Maybe from the schools or maybe from the utility payments, right? Non-receipt of his payment. As long as a long-standing customer of the bank, he is not happy with the situation. Now, as the bank manager, you are supposed to propose the action you could have taken to ease this situation. Now you know the situation. Clear? Understood the situation? Right. Now tell me, what is the issue faced by the bank? Now you need to understand this. Now if you don't now this, there are ways and means you can talk on this, right? You have to look at it all the aspects. Now I'll explain to you some areas you need to look at it. And the question is asking, I will tell you the question also. Customer satisfaction is a key to growth of business in a financial institution. Hence, it is imperative to identify how a customer dissatisfaction incident and marketing incompetence would affect the service of such situation. Briefly state the customer-oriented solution for each of the following incidents of identifying the inconvenience caused to them. Right? Okay. Now that's a question asked. These are, you need to answer question, 4 questions like that, 5 carry 5 marks each. Now, it's of a marketing-oriented approach. Here, the customer is not satisfied due to something you have done. Right? So, you need to have a marketing-oriented approach. So, that means customer is always correct. On that angle, you need to answer. Clear? Right. Now, whatever said and done, he is not happy with the bank because he's been here for the last 10 years. So, what type of customer? We may be a good customer. That is why you call last 10 years is maintain a current account. Mean it's not so easy thing. Right? It's maintain a current thing. It's a valuable customer because his money is come to your current account. That means we won't pay any cents to him as an interest. So he's a very good customer. He's a profit generating customer for us. Right? Now, what is the issue here? If any account, there are 2 aspects you need to look at it here. Now, if you don't have an account in your current account or whatever account, you cannot process the your standing orders. That is the systems will generate that. You may not aware. That's the first one. Second one also, now the customer also receive several calls. Remember that point. Tilakara has received several calls from the beneficiaries. That means people who are getting his standing orders. None received of payment. He also keep quiet. He get him, then he must to be inquired. No, why he has not gone and blah blah. He has to call manager. But remember, so when you're answering the question, so we have to put customer is correct. Okay, customer is correct. Now, 2 incidents we noted that, right? One is standing order usually not run without having the money. So you also made not aware on that, right? But customer also got call from beneficiaries and he may also keep quiet. Of course, there is some part of customer due obligations, right? He has not fulfilled. He is not called the manager and ask why this. Then the system get come up, right? Okay, but however, we need to look at it from the customer's point of view. You think we wrong as bankers? We wrong. Customer is correct because he is a 10-year customer. So then first incidents like this, you may get 1 point for this sort of thing. Now you have to say, Tilaka Ratna's been one of our current account customer for the last 10 years, right? And first we may apologize from him, or maybe call him or visit him, his office or his office or residence, and apologize and try to excuse for this what happened. Normally that one. And there are 2 parties and there are 2 situations. Right? 2 situations. One is the receive sends. What are the 2 receive sends? 2 receive sends are basically children's schools. Now you know what happened if the children's school fees are not coming and all the teacher comes and they put this name, he has not paid because it is a private school definitely. So therefore the children get embarrassing situation. Right? He's not paid this his due tuition fees or school fees. And also, there's another part is your utility payment. Suppose we think about maybe maybe mobile or electricity bill. So there's a chance of what happened? Disconnected your connections, and then again. Then there's another one. If you usually, if the bank, non-payments of utility payments may can come for a penalty charge, right? And also sometimes the disruptions of the supply. And bank also may charge fees also for reversals of standing order. That's automatic payment can come. So all things may adjust to the Mr. Tilakaran. Now what you need to do? Now you have to understand. So first, you need to apologize from the customer with regard to the incident, right? And if Tilakaran also complain, he may take action. But what to do? He has not complained also. But only important thing, now Tilakaran's, the past 10 years, his salary is receiving at the same day. Now the officer who is going through all these check returns, so there is a systems generated things is come up. No, usually if the standing order not generate, and we may communicate with the manager also, and also can call the customer because he's one of your good customer. His everyday salary is coming. Now he is maintaining a current account. He can, without telling a customer also, he can initiate what he can initiate because he's in a current account. We discussed three types of overdraft. Can you remember now? What is the first one? Permanent overdraft. Second one, temporary overdraft. We mentioned also another overdraft. What you call? Casual overdraft. Now, in this case, now manager can initiate. No, I mean the person who's in charge can initiate. Okay, now he's been getting, so he can initiate at casual overdraft. You can say temporary overdraft. It doesn't matter. Temporary overdraft or casual overdraft initiated by the manager and settle this. Why? Because these are very two sensitive issues. What are the two? Because one thing, school fees. It may be embarrassing the school children, and also maybe possibility of temporary, disconnect the payment. So very sensitive issues, right? Since he's a good customer, and if you've done that one, right, and he may very happy with the bank, and the bank manager can do all these things. So these are the action the manager can initiate. Clear? Understood now, no? So these are, and also remember when the next, now this was happened, he apologize, and he can initiate. Now the manager can initiate with the help of or with the permissions from Tilakaratna. The manager can call the school also, telling that so it is they can send another check, the bank's check. Right, so you can send the bank check. So it is then. Tilakaratna will, happy because the manager can send and call the manager, call the school, and inform the situation. It was erroneously happened or something, and also he can take actions to not to withdraw connection, not to disconnect, calling the respective utility person, the receiver or the beneficiary of his bill payments. Okay, now, and what happened, the manager need to do, we need to take reactions need to be taken in this case to rebuild the tarnished relationship between Tilakaratna and the CBC bank. He has to take some, because already he has tarnished, he is very disappointed because the money is still coming. Right? So therefore, he also can consider, and if something happened, that you can flag the account, flag the Vimalratna's salary account, and there may be a pop-up comes. If something happened, we will inform. I mean, the bank will automatically get to know, and they will take some necessary action. So you can therefore flag the salary account in the not to happen things like in the future. And also you can tell Tilakaratna in future, why don't you have some some overdraft facility to obtain, but he may not lie because he has not taken any loans or any overdraft facility, right? So he may not like, but you can flag the account, and when the next time these I mean, what you call these the disorder, I mean, standing order not run, so manager can initiate to provide some loans or overdraft, right? And also usually what happens when the customer comes, we go with some small promotional compliment. Small promotional compliment. So it's not a pagavar or anything, just to give something. Okay, we apologize the from the incidents took place, and we will hereafter ensure that there won't be anything happen, right? And then he may continue to and you are ensure that there not be repeated things not be taken place hereafter, and he ensure that we will take care of that. So that is some sort of a answer the examiner is expected from you. Okay, so you get 5 marks. Now you see, now when you look at it, some students have written it's a wrong. It is a now some students have written answer like this also, right? I want to tell you. They said so the what you call, they said the overdraft, sorry, the standing orders runs by automatically, and bank people are not aware. Therefore, you had to tell Tilakaratna it is nothing to do with the bank, right? Hari thamai. But the question is asking, no, is dissatisfied customer satisfaction. So customer is always king, no. But you have to explain, and you have to ensure that even though we will take care about you since you're a good customer, so we will take actions like this, and it can be communicated to the Telegram. At least Telegram must be communicated, no? So bank was not done also. Tilakarathos had some problem. He has not communicated despite the fact of, and he got some communication from the receiver beneficiaries, right? But still, you can mention. But still, so bank can take some action because he's a customer who is having a current account. His salary is coming to his current account. We are not paying any cents for him, right? He's not withdrawing checks. Maybe some money may be lying in his account like that. Okay, right. So that's the answer. Okay, clear the Terunada, right? Any questions? Right now, first, right? 1 mark you can get it if you apologize from customers. Then you must give the solution for that question. Solution is a casual overdraft. If you want to say casual, you can say overdraft facility can be given because it is an current account crediting. Right? Clear? And also how to avoid in the future, how to give a guarantee. So those are the action the examiner is expecting from you. Okay, they mention long-lasting customer. The keywords are there, and he's having a current account. His payment to school children, utility payments. That's too sensitive. He may be impacted because of you are not done that. Because school fees, the school children maybe get upset. Right? Is in the embarrassing situation. Teacher comes and you are not paying the school fees. You know the school is a private sector. And also utility payments, bill payments, maybe the current bill or your electricity bill is not paid, they disconnected, or maybe they will charge you again for reconnection. Right? So additional burden. I think you can now, you understood the situation and the answer. So you can write your answer. But I can't, because I can't dictate questions like that. But you can say first, Mr. Tilakaratna had been a long-standing customer of the bank, and he must be not happy with the bank treated him. So you can say that. Therefore, first instance, and he may be facing embarrassing situation because these standing orders go for schools and wills maybe possibility of disconnected. Possibility of disconnect, right? So therefore, as a manager, I am never first. I go and meet him personally, and excuse or apologize for inconvenience caused to him. So I should have done like this. Can issue these things. Even we can know what action you are going to take, and ensure that in the future is never going to happen like this. And you, for that, what action you can do. Okay, clear? Any questions on that? That's, is certain those are the students who are working in the bank is sometimes little easy to answer, but they are having little advantage, but doesn't matter. Any questions on the answer? 5 marks. Hari the Terunada. Okay, right. Now read the second one. Then what is second one? Mr. G, second point, 5 marks. Now the next 5 marks. Mr. G mean Mr. Gunawardhana is saying, Mr. Gunawardhana, who is a customer of your bank, right? Mr. G, who is a customer of your bank, has advised you to stop payment of a check drawn by him for a payment due to purchase of some furniture items during the last month. Since its items were not according to the specification of the order placed by him, however, your bank has not taken the advice properly and had paid the check when it was presented. So what is the action that you plan to take as the branch manager? Now, what is the problem in this case? What is can anybody tell me what is the issue? Huh? I need your cooperations, right? Make a footful let me. What is the problem? Suppose this question came your exam. What is the problem? Now these are questions I can tailor-made to you, right? But so with your experience that so there are similar questions come. So we will look at it. Past papers almost similar, but there may be small changes. Right. Can anybody tell me what is the issue here? Can anybody tell me? Any volunteer? Mr. Gunawardhana has informed the bank stop payment when the check has issued. But what happened? The bank has honored. Now, what is the action that you plan to take this branch manager as a branch manager? Huh? Can anybody tell me what is the incident? Yeah, go ahead.
First, we will check when customer has informed.
Yeah, good. Correct. Good.
And the first point that after that, and when we have issued the check for the furniture shop or whatever, after that, I don't know how to solve this.
How we are going to sort it?
Yeah, that's my problem.
Right. Okay, no problem. Now,
can we ask for a late return, sir?
Pardon?
Can we ask for a late return?
Yes. Good. That's another option solution. Good. Another solution. Now, who is wrong here? Who is wrong? Whether Gunawardhana or a bank?
Bank.
It's a bank. No, definitely. Now, okay. Now when I explain this, try to absorb. Right? When your exam questions come similar to that, you have to you have to remember what I told now. Right? Okay. Now, what is the relationship as far as the bank and a customer is having in person with respect to checks and things like that? Guy who's anybody who's knowing the law also have an added advantage. I've just explained, right? And you don't want to write all these things, but for your benefit, right? What is the relationship between bank and a customer with relation to checks. What is the relationship? Bank customer relationship. Now, if you have an account, you put the money, it's a creditor debtor relationship. No, if you take a loan, what is the relationship? Debtor creditor. Okay. So, what is the relationship here then? Right? Who bank is act as a one to customer as what? What is the relationship? Then check එකක් තියනවානේ. check එකේ මොකක්ද ගහලා තින්නේ? මේ දුටු විකස ගෙවණු. අන කරනවා. කාටද අන කරන්නේ? Who give order?
Customer gives the order to bank.
Order to the bank. Good. So then what is the relationship? What is the relationship? We call that relationship. Bank is what? Agent.
Principal and agent.
Right. Agent or principal agent relationship. Okay. So therefore, what customer is a principal, bank is an agent. So therefore, api principal kine wahanna ඕනේ. The principal can risk code principal name the PLE, right? Okay. Now this customer principal, now it is a duty now if the customer sell to stop payment of a check, bank has to adhere to that, right? He has to take the action, right? So now what happened? He may be say stop payment because of the goods he has taken not up to the specification, not up to the standard order placed by him, right? So he has advised the bank. So that means bank has two ways: not taken care, or maybe as somebody told, the customer is not properly communicated. Right? Now this is really a clear violations of not carrying of the instruction given by the client, right? That's the instructions given. Suppose he said no, he has communicated and to incur a loss. Right. Hence, the bank has no other option to reverse the debit done on the payment done for the check or reimburse the client. Now that is the first. Okay. If we have done, I mean, the bank has done the wrong, bank is need to pay. That's the first thing you need to tell, because we need to adhere to what the customer is telling, right? And so in the meantime, now you need to do the what you call the root cause analysis. Right? Root cause analysis you need to do. What is the word we call? Root cause action. Right? Okay, now we look at it. Now we need to check whether the stop payment had been received properly and recorded as per the bank's normal course of business action. Then after can anybody who is working in the bank, if it's a communication coming from a customer, say to stop a pen, what you do?
We place
What
the
you
rubber
do?
stamp with the time.
Yeah.
Do the signature verification.
Check number and the
Validation.
time, and you may have some. Okay, good. Come, you have a recorded version, so you immediately take action. So that somebody has not taken action because of that. Again, that's what to check out, realize, right? So we need to, it is also imperative to check the date of the receipt and the presentation date of the check at your bank, right? It has to be tally with your, right? Now to action, first of course, if you're bank wrong, you have to debit, you need to reverse your entry. So you have to put the money from your bank. Okay, right. Now who is the staff who is responsible? Whether acknowledgement has been placed properly, right? Somebody has get that communication, no? Whether he has acknowledged one and put some things, right? Okay. So you need to, as I told you, you need to do the root cause analysis for that. Now, there may be some errors. What are the errors? Right? Some technical reason where the stop payment is not recorded properly in the system. That may be the technical issue. Maybe due to human error, whether the recording has taken place with an error or delay in recording. වැරදි එකක් දාලා එක්ක වෙන නමක් දාලා මොන හරි එකක් වෙනස් කරනවා. Or maybe පරක් වෙලා record කරලා තියෙනවා. Or any other technical reasons. We need to understand, we need to go through that. That is why it's called root cause analysis. That is an internal thing. But anyhow, if the customer said not stop payment, we have to do that. Internal case, actually case of it, the customer right? But we need to do a root cause analysis. Why? What happened really? Right? If a customer communicate, so you can, but still customer is a king, but we have to communicate the customer properly. But now this case is purely a bank fault. Right? He said, no, we have to accept what he said. That is why we need to do a root cause analysis. Right? Now it is a branch level, so you can do something. But now if you can take the actions to rectify the error. Now it could be done at the branch level. But in the meantime, you make the necessary action. You need to communicate this thing to your head office or maybe your regional manager or whoever, right? Because you need to inform, because there is a loss, no? There is a loss to sometimes if the value of the check is huge, the customer is asking the money, so you may sometimes go for audit query, right? Who's done the wrong? Because suppose the check value is huge amount, so it's a loss to the bank, right? So therefore, the loss incurred may need to report in the loss reporting of the branch. You know what is that, no? There is a way of doing, no, by what you call that loss reporting of the branch. Ek loss එකක් වශයෙන් සැලකන්න ඕනේ. ඇයි මේ customer සල්ලි දෙන්න ඕනේ අපි. ඔය අපි දෙපා කියද්දී අපි ගෙවුවෙම නම් ඒක අපි දන්න ඕනේ. කොහෙන්ද මේ සල්ලි ගන්න නම් we need to communicate to head office. Okay? හැබැයි ඒක option. Now one student told you can see. Now, in the meantime, action should be taken to reverse the loss by way of contacting the collecting bank and check the possibility recalling the check. Then gihilla me wela නැත්තම්, right? Check එක තාම දෙන්නේ collecting bank එක නම් as a bank to bank negotiation, bank to bank dialogue, you can see whether you can recalling the check back. So that's another opportunity, as one student categorically mentioned, right? So in the meantime, you need to do collecting bank to check whether the possibility of recalling the check. And also maybe you may also another way, what is now, then check එක අරගෙන ඉවරයි. Furniture man, salary around, you're right. Now, what action still you can do? Why? Otherwise, a loss to the bank, no? Then you can call your client, seek the assistance of your client to see the possibility of, ask your client, for client, with your support also, inform the furniture guy and ask revert the payment, right? Okay? Clear? Right? There are options, right? And also remember, this is the action you can take. But overall, whose fault? The bank fault. Why? Why you are not adhere to the advice given by your customer to stop payment? If he has done the stop payment in the correct manner, it is not the fault of the customer, Mr. Gunwardana, but it's a fault of the bank. So therefore, we need to credit or debit his transaction, reverse his transaction. Or ultimately, the person who has received this communication, we have done. Maybe this technical error is not happened in the system. So then that's why you need to do a root cause analysis, right? It's technical problem, right? So you need to find it out. And also meantime you try to see whether the check with your collecting bank. Collecting bank can check එක යනවනේ. එතනට ගිහලා බලනවා තාම මේක collect කරලා නැත්නම් හිමීසරේ ඒක ගන්න පුළුවන්ද බලනවා. දැන් customer අරගෙන නම් සල්ලි එයත් එක්ක පොඩි chat එකක් දානවා වෙයිද මේක පොඩි false එකක් දැන් අපි ගන්නවා. දැන් අපි දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා අපේ දැන් count එකේ ඉන්නකොට now you see you are in the counter. Sometimes 1 lakh ආවම 1 million දීලා තියෙනවා account එකේ. Now we know to who we give. මොකද අපි කරන්නේ? යනවානේ කස්ටමර් ගාවට නේද? කස්ටමර් ගාව ගිහිල්ලා මැනේජර්ට යනවා සමහරලාට ඔෆිසර්ට යනවා අනේ මං හරි දුප්පත් මට ගෙවන්න වෙනවා මේක බැග්වේ ඊට පස්සේ කස්ටමර් මොකද කරන්නේ? හොඳ කස්ටමර්ස් ඉන්නවනේ නේද? පොඩ්ඩක් පල් පාට් එකක් දාලා ඉතින් ගෙවලා දානවානේ සල්ලි දෙනවා. There are instances, right? I have enough instances like that. Some our people, especially the young teller, they are not much experience. They may give maybe 5 lakhs, 6 lakh. They know people very poor. Right? Customers they know. So, but right? But remember. These are the action taken by the bank, but fully responsible is the bank. Clear? Understood? Now, if the questions comes like this, similar to that, now why I am explaining these things? If a questions come similar to that, right? Think what I told you. Okay? Clear the Harida? Okay? Harida? Right. Okay, we move into the next question. Next one is Mr. Malik. Now look at the third question. Mr. Malik had done some transfers through your bank's internet banking. Mr. Malik has done some transfers through your bank's internet banking. You have found out that some transfers taken place without debiting his account, due to an error in the bank's computer system. Now, the bank statements on Mr. Malik's account with this error has been printed from the computer system and sent to him, already sent to him. Now, what are the remedial actions available to the bank? Now, you know the incidents, right? Malik internet banking transactions කරනකොට එයා කරලා තියෙනවා transactions money transfer කරලා තියෙනවා ඒ accounting internet banking හරහා තව accounts වලට. හැබැයි මෙයාගේ account එක මොකද වෙලා තියෙන්නේ? debit වෙලා නැහැ. Right? එතකොට Malik is thinking he is having enough money in the account, but honestly Malik also a smart person. He must be aware he's having so much of money in his account. How this money has come to still remaining the same, right? So he may, but this is a system problem, right? Now, how you handle, how you convince the money? Again, apologizing the customer. ඉතින් ඔය ඕන එකකට apologize දාගන්න ඕනේ. ඒතර 1 mark විතර හම්බ වෙනවා. So what? Now this error has taken place due to a technical default. The question is telling you is a bank's computer system. Now the error has taken place due to a technical default of the bank's internet banking system. So first mark, because it's categorically mentioned, this was due to the bank's computer system's error. So therefore you have to tell the error has been placed due to technical default of the bank's internet banking system. But however, banks need to take immediate corrective actions in regard to avoid any losses. Otherwise, suppose the Malik has taken some money, make it to zero. Well, he said, I have enough money, I pay. Right? So we need to take some. So Mr. Malik should be notified, therefore, immediately regarding the error in writing and inform him of the debits of the account done, since the statement has already dispatched to him. Now, we have already dispatched the statement to him. No? Either you can call him, better to call him since you know the numbers and all, and inform Malik, Mr. Malik, there's some computer error in our bank. And some of the transfers you have done to the internet banking was not credited due to our side fault. These are the things, and please excuse, we may take action to deduct from your account balance those limited which have not shown in your statement due to some technical error. To tell them, right? Okay. Now suppose Malik issues check or do the payment as per the balance appear in the bank statement. Now Malik has seen, right? He said now his account is say 100,000, for example. Now these transfers, it should be a balance maybe around 10,000. But Malik noted that still his account account balance is lying 100,000. He said, okay, I may withdraw some money or I may do some other transfer for 100,000. Because then what happened? Right? What happened then? Then there's nothing but we have to still call Malik and say there's some technical error. So this was happened. That is why you need to take immediate action. Right? And then again now what to do? As a very famous answer given, investigation should be carried out to identify root cause for the incident. Root cause for the incident. Excuse. Customer ගෙන් සමාව ඉල්ලනවා. ඒක ඉතින් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ. අපි customer is king නේ. Right? And also to find it out or carry out some investigation to identify the root cause for the incidents and necessary action to be taken in the future, and which has to be now this computer system issue. You need to communicate immediately, inform the respective head office IT division, so the guys, people who are involved in that. That's a simple answer, right? Now, this type of question, what the examiner is expecting from you, identify the actionable request, actionable thing. So, what you can do, something like that. And markers have given a freedom to give any other 2 marks as customer, as candidate or the student put any other reasonable reason, right? Okay, understood? That's the third point.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay, go ahead. What is that?
When we found that there are some transfers have taken place without debiting his account,
yes,
we can mark a lien, or we can mark a lien for that particular amount. Can't we write that also?
Can, but then we have to inform, no? We have to get the permission. We have to tell them, Malik, no?
Yes, after telling him, we can mention that
Can do.
Okay.
So that's another good suggestion. Right,
Thank
good.
you.
That's good suggestion, right? But only the question is asking what action you have taken once you've seen that. Okay, so you need to come up with a marketing oriented approach. Apologize to Malik, there's something happened due to our system's failure or computer system error. As you are well aware, so your balance after crediting, after debiting these 2 transactions must be like this. There, no? I mean, you can understand, no? He also aware, no? I mean, he can't say, I mean, we know our balances, no? So, but we have to do it in a very polite manner. So, it's our mistake. Always these type of questions, remember, customer is number 1. Okay, next one. Okay, now go to the 4th one. I'm going a little slow. I may not in the position to cover all, but we try to cover maximum as possible. Now, look at the 4th one. You are operational manager in the branch of SBP, where Mr. Silva maintains his account. I think you can answer for this very well, right? So you have Mr. Silva is a maintaining account with your bank. You observe that there are multiple and high number of funds transfers taking place in Mr. Silva's account, in contrary to the details declared by him at the time of opening the account. What action would you take in this regard? So there are a lot of answers, right? We need to look at from the customer's point of view. We need to look at it from the administrative point of view. We need to look at it from our FIU point of view. All things we need to look at this question, right? But that is why, as a marker has the liberty to marks as provided the students give the correct, some reasonable answer. Okay, now tell me what is the issue here? What is the act going to come to your mind? What is the act? Two acts come into your mind of knowing this one.
Anti-money laundering. Anti-money laundering.
Yeah, and
FIU.
No. FIU is there, correct. But what is a law? Anti-money laundering law. And other one? He mentioned that you are operational manager of the branch. Mr. Silva maintains his account. You observe that there are multiple and high number of funds transfer taking place in Mr. Silva's account, in contrary to the details declared by him at the time
law?
of...
Monetary law?
Yeah. No, particular one. So at the time of opening the account, what you are taking from the customer? So what are the, now think about customer comes and open an account. What are the forms you are giving to him to open?
KYC.
I think KYC comes under what law? I told Mama, KYC and CDD comes under what law? Last week we discussed what is the law covered under KYC and FIU? Financial. Financial Transaction Reporting Act. That is it. Financial Transaction Reporting Act only permit, given power and banks to collect KYC and CDD. Now, customer at the time of opening the account, we collecting sources of power, sources of income and the KYC. He said, what is your normal deposit form? They give you he declare. Magi samani mama deposit karna mechara gar KYC form ne kiwa tiyena. Now you have noted there are some high amount transferred from his account. Which Silva, we say Mr. Silva is a teacher. Right? I told you about Sakpiti. Sakpiti Ranasingha man katha kiyogalanda. He is a teacher and he is depositing the money with his account more than millions every day. How can being a teacher? That is why we request the occupation from your KYC forms, right? Name, address, KYC. Now here you have noted at the time of his usually having the KYC document, right? And you can see what is the KYC document, right? Then make one. This is a what type of transaction? It's a suspicious transaction. So money laundering, first you need to say, if a customer behave like this, you have to say you are aware about this. First, money laundering is a punishable offense under the present law. Now some student told me the law, no, right? Because if you can quote, it's no problem. Money laundering under the Anti-Money Laundering Act or Money Laundering Act 5 of 2005. So 2006, no, it is there. You are not supposed to. It's a punishable offense, right? And any you and the financial institution, you are bound to report any suspicious activities to regulators in this regard. ඒක කියන්න ඕනේ. හරිද? මතකයිද? What is the amount? Usually you need to report. අපි කිව්වා threshold limit එක කීයද? Any values 1 million. Right? හරි නේද? Right. But it is more than that. Doesn't matter. As far as he has declared in your KYC, this is how I'm going to put the money. Right? So as the officer in charge, I'm in the branch operations, it will be your duty, remember, to report to these two banks to whom you're going to report if incidents like this. I told you to report somebody at the head office. Huh?
Compliance department.
Compliance officer. Compliance department. Compliance officer. Remember that. These are some of the standard things in the banks. Right? If you feel it, a customer do any transaction, right? And also, I told you that.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
So if we found any suspicious transaction, do we need to immediately inform compliance officer or officer or head of branch manager?
No, usually you need to inform your branch manager. That is the protocol there, no? Right?
Okay.
But he also an operational manager, no? Right? So therefore, he can go straight away to compliance officer. But if for a counter, I mean the teller is there, එතකොට ඉතින් මැනේජර් පොඩ්ඩක් මේ නීතිය පැත්තක දාන්නකෝ. ඔයාට කම්ප්ලේන්ට් කරන්න පුළුවන් තමයි. But still, since your manager is there, if you are going to talk to your compliance officer, manager තද වෙනෝනේ. ඔයාව කපන්න ගන්න එදා ඒ වෙලේ ඉඳන්. තේරුණාද? If you want to happily work in the branch, then these are practical issues, Puta. Right? These are practical issues. Suppose I am the branch manager. ඔයාට now Mr. Silvaගේ case එක දකින්න. Now ඔයා මාව ignore කරලා, what's your name, Puta? It's okay to tell your name?
Pilini.
Udeni. Right. Now Udeni, I am the branch manager. You overlook me and call compliance officer, and the compliance officer call the manager. And manager don't know anything. What happened? My bank? My branch? Yes. One of your girl called me now. මල පයින්නවනේ මට උදේනි ඉතින් ඊ වැඩේට මුකුත් කියන්නේ නැහැ. ඊට පස්සේ මම මොකද කරන්නේ උදේනිට? උදේනි වල්ලා අඹරනවා තියලා බ්‍රාන්ච් එකේ නේද? කවුන්ට් එකේ දානවා, රෑ වැඩ කරන්න කියනවා, රේට් දානවා, මීට දානවා. ඉතින් ඕවා තමයි ප්‍රැක්ටිකල් issues, Puta. ඒ නිසා, so always better to talk to your manager. Right? If you communicate your manager, because he's your boss, no? Anyhow, your immediate boss, too, or there's another guy, tell him also and do the normal procedure. And that's good. Now here, since he's an operational manager, and he can communicate to the manager, but still he also communicate to the manager is no problem. But that's a protocol things, right? In Sri Lanka is like that, no? Okay. But since you are the operation manager, you have the rights to call to the blank compliance officer. Now, then any suspicious transaction, what you need to raise? I think you may not aware on that, no? There's called STR, Suspicious Transaction Report. And the STR, right? And they will communicate to the FIU from usually the compliance officer call you the FIU. Right? Okay. So then there are instances now. Good smart students also give answers like this. Now it's a very interesting. Now at the time of open the account, and also remember, all things need to be done without tip off of the client. That means you are not tell we are going to do things like that. ring right? Mr. Silvata, hitano their name. Sometimes the students can say it's a very good answer. Some students given. Some students say like this. Remember, he also good. Now, Mr. Silva at the time of opening the account, he may not have a business operations like this. Now he has developed his business or whatever, and it is due. So first we called Mr. Silva and had a chit chat or dialogue with him and see how the business and all, and we noted that now he has increased. Therefore, we request him, as we found that Mr. Silva's all these transactions are genuine. So therefore, we request him to prepare a new KYC. That's not bad, but here he has given he has doing more than expected transfers. So therefore, we need to assume here he is basically not adhere to. He may be punishable under money laundering things, but still, right? First you look at it, your KYC, and then if it is under the KYC, so you not need to report, because he has mentioned, he has declared, he do a transaction like this, right? So we have given some marks for the student, right? Now you see understand the situation, right? If a customer comes like that, right, and I told you categorically, if you feel it, any amount is a suspicious to you, not 1 million, so it's a suspicious transaction. So that also you can communicate to your compliance officer, right? In this case, he categorically mentioned he is maintaining multiple and higher number of funds transfers taking place, right? So therefore, we have to be vigilant of such type of customers, because why? Customers, can you remember? Customers are not supposed to use the banks for his criminal activities. So bank cannot be a money laundry for Mr. Silva. That's the fourth why we discuss why we need to protect, why we need regulation. First one, to protect customers. Second one, to maintain the soundness of the financial institution. Third one, to maintain the financial stability, system stability. Fourth one, obviate or misuse the banking system for unauthorized people to do illegal activity. Have we? Right. Right? Okay. Right. I think first time you come across like this, now you have an idea. Okay. Now we're moving to 2019 September. So we have 1 hour gone, right? Doesn't matter. Okay. So we look this question, will you now? Okay. Look this question, read, will you? 2019 September. Read this question. That may be the 2019 September. Something, again, question number 2, right? This is some practical situation the examiner asks from you. Okay, go ahead quickly. You, as the branch manager of IND Bank, was notifying Mr. Pereira, one of your client, that Mr. Ranjit, who is the officer in charge of retail accounts departments of the branch, has used abuse language in communicating with regard to a complaint lodged by him. Now, who is the customer? Customer is Mr. Pereira, your bank, you as a branch manager, and his complaints against one of your officer. Who is this officer? Mr. Ranjan, who is working in the retail account department. And he made a complaint. Now, Mr. Pereira says that he is in the positions of hard evidence of emails, right, by Mr. Ranjit, and he was recorded some telephone conversation also regarding the incident. Mala. Then customer Mr. Pereira Mama Mea Epu Magawa මම emails තියෙනවා ඒ වගේම මෙයා මට නරක වචන වලින් කියප බැන්නේ වල ටෙලිෆෝන් මම රෙකෝඩ් කරගෙන තියෙනවා. Now as a manager what action you can take? Now one of your good customer, no, your Mr. Perra is one of your good customer. Now, as a manager, what you are going to do? There's a complaint against one of your officer. So therefore, first thing, Mr. Perra, they seem to be unhappy regarding the way he has been treated by Mr. Ranjit. Now, Mr. Ranjit can call Mr. Ranjit is a Putala, but he is not happy with the bank, IND bank, because of Ranjit, right? So there must be a violation of now. Can Ranjit behave like that? First thing, yes or no? Huh? Can Ranjit behave like that? Huh? No. Ranjit cannot do. And what he cannot do because he is violations of code of conduct. Now, the code of conduct, right? Now, the charter, customer charter also code of conduct. Now, customer treat correct, not to harassing customers, right? So, in our normal business, also we are violated. Ranjit is violated of the code of conduct. If Ranjit, is Mr. Pereira is proven correct, then yeah. දැන් බ්‍රාන්ච් එකේදී කස්ටමර් කෙනෙක් කෝල් කරලා කියනවා අරයා මට නරක වචනින් බැන්න කියලා අපිට ඒක පිළිගන්න බෑනේ ඇත්ත එක පුද්ගලික තරහක් තියෙනවද කියලා අපි දන්නේ නැහැ නේ. So we don't know. So therefore now whatever Mr. Perra said, I have the records and proven the communications as well as some recorded version. Then if it is correct, what happened? So therefore action should be taken in order to ensure that the bank's reputation is not tarnished because of Mr. Ranjit. So therefore, behalf of the Ranjit, in behalf of the Ranjit, in the behalf of the bank, in fact, right? What happened? Now what the manager is going to do? And he has apologize from the for the incidents which took place, right, of this man, right? First apologize karanone. So sorry, we are apologizing for the incidents which has taken place at the outset whenever the Mr. Pereira and his victims of the instance. He is the victim, no, right? And also, what do you think now? If a customer complain, then customer, you are a manager, right? Now customer complaint karna me okkoma hari is one of your good customer, right? Ekana kiyala tiyanawane, right? Now what do you do? අපි දැන් දෙවෙනියට කරන්නේ මොකද්ද? customer complaint කළාම අපි කරන දෙකක් තියෙනවා. ඉස්සෙල්ලාම තමයි apologize කරනවා. ඊට පස්සේ මොකද කරන්නේ? As a manager, what you are going to do? ඔන්න මතක තියාගන්න මේ flow එක. දැන් මේ වගේ ඉන්සිඩන්ට් එකක් ආවම අපි මොකද කරන්නේ? අපි අඬ ගහනවා කාටද? පෙරා එනවා මගේ රූම් එකට. එන්න මගේ කාමරේට ඇවිල්ලා අපි මේක කතා කරමු. come Mr. Perra call එකක් දීලා මම කියනවා මම තමයි manager. මම call කරලා කියනවා Mr. Perra, why don't you come to my room? We will discuss. ඒකද ඕනේ නැත්තම් I'll go to the Mr. Pereira's office or residence and have a chat. Which one is better? අපි වැරදක් වුණාම කවුද යන්නේ කස්ටමර්ට මම එන්නේ කියනවද නැත්නම් මම යනවාද කස්ටමර් ගාවට? Usually the manager visit the Mr. Pereira because it's a mistake done by bank. Ranjit කියන්නේ බැංකුවේ එක්කෙනෙක්, but it's a bank. So in behalf of the bank, the manager he can go to either Pereira's residence or may go to for his office, whatever convenience to Mr. Pereira. Right? Okay. And that is how we go and discuss the regression when was happened. I'm very sorry. Mr. Perra and Dala. Onnam podda samalata ඒ වෙලාවෙදී අපි කරන්නේ මොකද? රංජිත් පොඩ්ඩක් බයිනෝනේ. රංජිත් ඔක තමයි මීට කලින් හම්බෙලා තිබ්බා මම සමාව දුන්නා. This time I'm not going to tolerate. Right? And blah blah. You can tell. So ඒවා ලියන්න ඕනේ නෑ. But this is the way you have to visit the took place and to understand, right? Okay, so and then he will tell you the real the manager get to know the real picture what really happened, right? So then what to do? What next step? If it is the case you can tolerate just because of your officer, you cannot entertain him, no. So then what happened? So you could conduct an internal inquiry based on the information provided by the Mr. Pereira, right? And from through your client, and then you may also can some actions against the Mr. Ranjit, and maybe it can transfer, or maybe whatever the actions they will take, right? So then forget about the Ranjits. Now your job is now again rebuild the, what is that? Rebuild the tarnished relationship Mr. Pereira and the bank is had. And අපි දැන් rebuild කරන්න ඕනේ මේ මනුස්සයට වැරද්දක් උනේ බැංකුවෙන්නේ. ඒ වගේම කළා මතකයිනේ අපි first question එකේ this year's questions, can you remember? We visit the Mr. Gunawardana and rebuild the relationship. Hereafter we are not going to happen things like that. Even for Mr. Tilagaratna we did it. Rebuild the relationship. Because make something happen, it is our duty. It's a marketing approach. Rebuild the relationships approach. එතකොට මොකද කරන්නේ? අපි දැන් අපි කාලේ ආව හම්බෙන්න යනකොට මොකක්ද අරයි යන්නේ? Also offer some as a not a bribery, as a promotional compliments for notes for Mr. Pereira. හරිනේ? ඔන්න මතකයි නේද? ඔන්න තවත් අපි යනකොට අරගෙන යනවානේ ඔර්ලෝසුවක් නැත්නම් ඔය අපි බ්‍රාන්ච් වල තියනවානේ අපිට දීලා දෙනවානේ එක එක ඒවා කස්ටමර්ට දෙන්න නේද? Some promotional compliment, right? Given the within the norms, මතකද යන පගාවකශනේ within the norms to Mr. Pereira, and convince him there won't be any, we have taken the proper action and there won't be any problem. So thank you for telling all these things, and this will further improve our relationship, and it will take some and it's a lesson to other people also, like that. Okay, right. So that's the one. Okay, clear? Right, now look at the second one. Your bank has returned a check. Then බලන්න එකම වගේ තමයි. Right, your bank has returned a check which was drawn and issued to a leading private school. ඔන්න බලන්න එකම දැන් මේ අවුරුද්දට අහලා තියෙන්නේ ඒක වගේම එකක්, right? Now look, read this question. Your bank has returned a check which was drawn and issued to a leading private school by Mr. Michael, who is one of your long-lasting client of your bank. Mr. Michael, the Michael, right? Okay, come on, Mr. MQ has deposited a check on the previous day evening, but the proceeds has not been credited to his account, right? Then මෙතන ඉස්සෙල්ලාගේ our 2002 this year's question salary. Now here he has deposited the subject expecting the realization of that check. He has issued some checks to his cash check or whatever the checks to his school, right? Check on the previous evening, but proceeds has been credited to his account. By the time his check was drawn by him, account was child school fees, which was presented for morning clearing as the officer in charge of a current account. Which actions would you take in this regard? Is the situation same thing? Now, what is it? Now, dishonoring. Now, remember the check by the bank would have created an embarrassing situation to Michael because it is a non-payment of school checks. Now, අතේරවනේ දෙය කියන්නේ මෙයා සල්ලි account එකට current account එකට සල්ලි හම්බෙනවා කියලා check එකක් දාලා එයා තව චෙක් එකක් දීලා තියෙනවා ස්කූල් ලා. ඒක බැංකුවෙන් රිටර්න් කරනවා. Right? That's what happened. No? Early now, now what happened? Now again is a serious situation. What is a serious situation? Again, that check was given by Mr. Michael for his school children. And that's a reputation, his personal reputation. Now, bank has returned this check. Account එකේ සල්ලි නැහැ කියලා කොහොම embarrassing situation එකක් එනවද father. As for the officer in charge of the current account, what action you to take in this regard? Right? So, sorry. So what happened here? Right? Right. Now, so definitely Michael is not happy because the way that bank was treated him, despite the fact of he's a good customer of yours. Why he has returned the check. Now, action should be taken to explain reason for the bank to return the check and should explain why to make early arrangement in the bank for such situation. එහෙමනම් අපි ඔන්න අපි කියන්න ඕනේ ඇත්ත කතාව. අපි කියන්න ඕනේ මේක සාමාන්‍යයෙන් එහෙම වෙනවා, it was happened. So why you are not informed to bank with regard to them. If it is happened, we will give you overdraft, temporary overdraft facility to you. Right now, earlier same thing. Can you remember the Tilakaratna also not communicated? Right? But here, Mr. Michael has not communicated to the bank. So what if we communicate it to the bank, and the bank must take actions again to issue a temporary overdraft. Right? For that you explain. But still you have to look at it. If something happened like that, since the Michael is good of your customer. Now what you can do now, again like earlier, as a manager in charge, you can tell Michael to inform the school, right, to represent the check again. Right, represent the check again, right? Or otherwise, bank can issue a banker's check favoring the school equivalent to the school fees to ensure that timely payment of fees. Right? Okay, now that's what's happened. Bank must return the check. But still you can take action. First, you need to tell Michael, if it is a case, you must communicate it to the bank. We will arrange some sort of overdraft facility like Tilakarat. Right? But anyhow, since what's happened, so as a bank manager or the respective officer in charge, you can immediately attend to that and tell Michael. You can call the school to represent the check, right? Or otherwise, the bank will give you another check, that is banker's check favoring the school people. Right? So then that the embarrassing situation faced by the Michael issuing a check without having the money also can be sorted out, because the check is given by now whom? By the bank. Clear? Right. Now, bank also, rather than, now I want to tell you good things. Now, rather than returning the checks, now say, okay, right? Okay. Now, I will forget about the Michael situation. Now, I am one of your good customer, right? I have written some check, right? There may be some money is my account is not enough to honor all the checks which I have written. As a bank officer, what you try to do, right? What you try to do. Now, ඒ වගේ වෙලාව දැන් හිතන්න දැන් මම චෙක් එකක් ඉෂුව කරනවා. මගේ account එකේ සල්ලි නැහැ. එතකොට මගේ චෙක් එක රිටර්න් කරන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා usually the officer who's looking after the checks and all, we see and Michael is a good customer. First one, I may look at it, are there any remittances coming to this account today from my, say for an example, from my fixed deposit interest may come today, or any cash deposits can come, still not realized but it need to come. I have to first look at it. Right? Or there may be unrealized effects there. Right? I need to check. Third one, okay, why not you communicate with Michael? Or otherwise you can communicate to the officer or the relationship manager or branch manager and inform the situation. And then the branch manager will take actions. And then maybe have a overdraft facility initiated. Right? Without you are not done anything, you just return the check. So therefore, bank usually need to look at it, all these aspects before you returning the check. Clear? Are there any doubt? Understood? Okay, go ahead.
In that situation, sir, can't we call the relevant check, the relevant bank which that unrealized check, and get the fate confirmation and pay the check?
That is why it was asked to school people to represent that check, no? Right? That's a one option. Right? Now we can, because we will return it, right? Already returned, no? So the check ask the school to represent it. But the school can issue a banker's check to the Michael to give it to school fees. Okay, so that's another option, right? But only thing here, what you said is also correct. But it's right? We need to take some immediate actions. Okay, what you said also correct, Kuta, but that's also possible thing. But what is, we need to give him some sort of a marketable solution, no? I mean marketing solution, no? So therefore we can issue a check. This is all the bank issues. So therefore, the school may think it is a mistake taken by the bank, because bank issue a check behalf of the Michael children's. Okay, right? That's also correct. Now look at the fourth one then. Fourth one, right? Right. There had been a multiple transfers. There had been a multiple transfers of funds of accounts of a single SEFT transfer requested by Mrs. Nelu. Now, Balanda, now this question also something similar to the question appeared this time. There had been multiple transfers of funds of account of a single SEFT transfer requested by Mr. Nelu, a customer of your bank. The error had been detected towards the end of the day, and as the officer in charge of operations, you must ensure that there is no operational loss to the bank due to this incident. What action you can take to prevent any damages? Now again, now the same thing. No, now earlier what happened? The one Mr. Michael, no, the same person. Michael have done some transaction or transfers through internet banking, but it's not debited to his account. But here, only one transaction has done by the Mrs. Nelu, but there may be a, lot of transactions similar, same thing occurred. Right, then definitely it may be due to whatever maybe due to computer error or maybe taken place due to technical defaults on the fund transfer system. අතර internet banking. මෙතන self transfer system එකේ bank එකේ technical problem. However, bank need to take immediate corrective action in this regard to avoid any losses. Right? Then initially what happened, the remitting bank should notify the beneficiary's bank. සාමාන්‍ය අපි කරන්නේ initially the remitting bank should notify the beneficiary's bank regarding the error and could request them to block the excess funds. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් මේක උනේ අපේ බැංකුවේනේ අපි තමයි remitter. එතන remitting bank එක අපි බලනවා කාටද මේ සල්ලි යවලා තියෙන්නේ කවුද නෙළුම්නේ නෙළුම් යවලා තියෙන එයාගේ beneficiary බැංකුවට කියලා. So there are something there is some regarding the error and request them to block the excess fund. මේම හතරක් පහක් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා but only once we to block the one which were remitted. So thereafter steps should be taken, the funds reverted the bank correct control account. එතකොට ඒගොල්ලෝ එවන්න ඕනේ සල්ලි දාන්න ඕනේ control account එකට. හරිනේ? ඒවා ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවනේ control account එකට තමයි සල්ලි දාන්න ඕනේ ආපහු වගේ. In the event if the beneficiary has withdrawn the funds, remitting bank could request to receiving bank to assist recovery of funds from those parties. දැන් මොකද වෙලා තියෙන්නේ? Beneficiary සල්ලි අරන් නම් so we support from the beneficiary's bank to inform the customer and try to recover the money from his customer. Whose customer? The beneficiary's bank customer. I think all depends on bank to bank relationship. So you can't force bank to do that, but you can politely ask from the beneficiary's bank to tell your customers to remit back again this money, because he is also aware the same transactions took place several times. Therefore, he also well aware about the excess transaction, right? And also this again the lust, like check return. So therefore, this incident should be recorded as a operational loss incident in remittance bank's books until fund received from the beneficiary's bank. Right? Eka loss ekak වශයෙන් සලකන්න ඕනේ. ඇයි? හම්බුනේ නැත්තම් loss එකක් නේ. So therefore, until such time we need to consider it as a loss. සල්ලි දුන්නොත් okay, otherwise you have to be considered under loss. Right? Is an operational loss to the bank because of due to some error. Earlier, customer එයා දාපු නැති නිසා කවුද? අපේ employer communication stock payment එක දාපු නැති නිසා මේක system එකේ problem එකක් නිසා. Right? Then of course we carry out මොකක්ද අර මගේ favors එක? Investigation should be carried out to do what? How you call that? Root cause analysis need to be done in find it out what is really happened, right? Root cause analysis. එතකොට මේ questions වල තුනක් අපි ඉගෙන ගත්තා. Common. What are these? First one, apologizing, visit customer, give some promotional gift or something to the customer. Apologize, give some promotional gift to the customer. Then carry out root cause analysis. Right? We have a incident. Okay, then you go for the last one in 2019 September. Again, same, but you are operational manager of PCB Bank, and the bank collects bill of payments to CB, that is Ceylon Electricity Board, by way of cash. One of your bank tellers have accepted cash from Mr. John for his bill of payment, but have entered the wrong CB consumer account number in the cash deposit entry. 1 month later, a complaint had been lodged by Mr. John that he has received a red notice from Electricity Board and his electricity will be disconnected if bills are not settled within the bank. Now, what action you should take an operation manager of the PCB bank, right? Okay, can you answer to this? Now, one of your customer, John, right, he has paid some money for bill of pay their electricity bills, but the cashier or the counter girl or boy, whoever, has put the wrong consumer CB account number in the cash deposit entry. 1 month later, since Ceylon Electricity Board is not collect the money of his dues and send a red notice to the Mr. John, they are going to disconnect the connection. And then Mr. John noted that I have already paid to PCB bank. Now, what action would you take as an operational manager of PCB bank? Tell me. What action you will take? Now, again, a serious case. What is the serious case here? CB going to disconnect your connection. Now, whose fault? Whose fault?
Bank's fault, the teller fault.
Yeah, customers also has a problem, no? And he's
Yeah, customers it in the correct account number or not, we have to check that.
Yeah. Suppose his correct number is given, but once you come the receipt, he also look at it, the number, no? I mean, we can't. So it is a duty of us to put the correct number, right? Okay, right. Okay, what you said is correct. Now, what happened immediately if such a situation come? What is the solution immediately to the Mr. John? What you can do? Now, what the problem is facing, they are going to cut your electricity bill, electricity connection. So, therefore, what action you can take immediately to prevent the disconnection? You need to give a check to whom? To the Ceylon electricity bill. So action should be taken immediately to prevent the disconnections of the Mr. John's electricity supply. Bank can send a banker's check, right? Banker's check. So you can initiate a banker's checks in favor of Ceylon Electricity Board to the credit of Mr. John account. And manager noted that yes, correct, we have done the mistake. What manager can do? Immediately send the checks to the electricity board saying that it's a banker's check. Then therefore definitely the electricity board accepted the checks and credited to his account and immediately stopped the check. So therefore immediately it was solution then famous one what we need to do as a bank PCB operation manager from we need to appear famous apologize Mr. John the inconvenience caused in this regard. That's all equivalent. So first we have to apologize from the Mr. John inconvenience caused and then you go root cause analysis after that and see whether whether the taken to retreat funds wrong CB account, it was happening samaning CB account taking reverse the expenses samaning CB reverse karano, right? I have enough experience on that, but it takes time. So we need to so we need to request from Electricity Board and to reverse the expenses incurred in the bank when you putting the wrong number. So usually if they go through and they will refund the or reimburse for the bank, right? And also and also we have to look at it. It is a mistake of Mr. John or the person who has wrongly put the number, right? Okay, so that's the thing. So you noted that there are similarity of answering. apologizing, root cause analyzing, equilibrium, අපි කොහරි customer ට ප්‍රශ්නයක් කියන එකක් නේ. එහෙමනම් so මෙතන question එකේ answer එක දාන්නේ you must provide a marketing solution to the customer. The marketing solution to customer කිව්වේ ගමන් so remember you need to provide a good answer to the customers. You want to keep your customer retained in your bank. ඒකට තමයි අපි අර කතා කරන්නේ කියන්නේ. Right. Now we move into 2019 March. Right. I will try to do maximum questions today. So you, right, 2019. Right, 2019. Mr. LPB has recently found out that balance in his savings account has reduced drastically during the month of February 2019. Right? Salli aduwegana yanawala yage savings එකේ. It was revealed that there had been several withdrawals from his ATM card linked to his savings account, which had not been originated by him. Now, how do you advise Mr. LPB? Now, what happened? LP has recently found out the balances in his savings account has reduced drastically during the month of February. It was revealed that there had been several withdrawals from his ATM card linked to savings account, which has not been originated by him. How do you advise Mr. LPB? Okay, what is that? What happened? Now, what is the incidents? කාටද කියන්න බලන්න. ඇයි එහෙම වෙන්නේ? What is the reason?
He must have shared his ATM card with somebody else.
Yes. Okay. Good. What else? Okay, one option is that. What is the other option?
Acts the account.
I didn't get at you. What's that?
Account has been hacked by someone. The cyber.
Yeah.
Complement.
Okay. Good. That is means skimming. Somebody has skimming his card. Okay, skimming attack, right? Skimming attack. Good. Right. Cyber criminal. Right. Good. Okay, that's the two things happen. No, either he himself given and disclose his number or given to him. But he said he has not did, but we can ask, right? Okay, now, and for two things. One, why the LPB has been most probably the victim of a skimming attack, right? Somebody has copied this card or skimming. Then, sometime maybe he used for some unauthorized payment he made through his ATMs, right? For purchase something. Maybe have done some internet transaction, right? Maybe two things. And so first, LPB, what to need to do? He has to call Mr. Now, then, අපි යන්න ඕනේ නෑ මේ වගේ වෙලාවක. දැන් ඔන්න පොඩ්ඩ අපි යන්න ඕනේ නැත්තේ මොකද අපේ fault එකක් නෙමෙයිනේ, but it is our duty to call Mr. LPB. ඕනනම් ඒක කියන්න පුළුවන් යන්නත් පුළුවන්, but it's not necessary for us to go there because it's purely LPB case, right? But doesn't matter, even if you can go is no problem. So what we request to have a initial discussion with Mr. LPB and talk to him how they use ATMs, and they check whether you have visited abroad recently, right? And travel away during the last few months, and are there anyone, as somebody correctly mentioned that whether you have given someone to withdraw money. So again, now what sort of analysis you need to do in this case? Famous one, my famous word, root cause analysis, right? Root cause analysis. So we need to do root cause analysis, and also can check with things. We can only help. It is not the bank fault. No, we must help the LPB. But immediately they can cancel his, right? What we can cancel his ATM card and request him to get a new ATM card or debit card. Right. Okay. Now I'll ask from you what you are suggesting for Mr. LPB in present context. What you are suggesting, Mr. LPB?
To get the SMS banking. To
Correct,
get
correct.
the SMS banking.
Very good. Right. Good. Why go? You try, Mr. LPB. Why you not get SMS facilities the moment you do did a transactions to your ATM card or a machine or any merchandiser or merchant? So you immediately get the SMS alert. Good. So that's the one the examiner is expecting from you, right? You can suggest to him, okay, first you have to cancel the card and give a new one, as well as request him to get SMS facility alerts to get to know when a debit take place his account. And also you look at it now, of course everybody is having the chip card, or earlier we have a strip card, right? So now see whether to replace his card with a chip card, right? That during that time the question may be, we have given chip magnetic strip also, but now we are not supposed to do, and to provide a strip card and tell them how to use your card, educate him not to keep the pin numbers with him, and not to share it to anybody. It's a personal number, like that you can tell. Okay, right. So the next one, I think next question, another important things. Mr. TKS call over at the bank and request to withdraw fixed deposit belong to Mr. Mrs. TKS, a joint account. He informed that Mrs. TKS is out of the country. Australia, and is in need of the funds for an urgent payment of child school. Child schools by any hospital bill child schools electricity bill, right? Urgent fees. You may found out that the operating instructions are not clear in the mandate, and how do you advise Mr. TKS? Now, what is the case here? Mr. and Mrs. TKS has a joint fixed deposit in your bank. Now, Mr. TKS want some money to withdraw his fixed deposit, and need to get some money for payment of the school fees. Now, you noted that in your joint account, usually, if you want to take the money from the fixed deposits, you need to get a clear instruction. Usually, when you're going to close the account, usually banks need two people to be present, both account holders, joint account holders. Now, what you're going to do? But you need to understand, it is an important emergency personal requirement. Now, even though fixed deposit, we have to pay if the both parties has come, no? But now, since only one party has come, what you can do? Now, we need to fulfill his requirement also, because it's a school fees for a school of your children. So, as an urgency requirement, right? But he needs to fulfill, and bank also support him to fulfill his obligation. But now, what actions you can take? The question is asking. Now, what you can do? One thing is, you can take a letter from TKS, Mrs. TKS, stating his signature that he has no objection in releasing funds to Mr. Fernand, Mr. TKS. So you need. Otherwise, what you can do? Now today you can ask for SMS, so you can telephone. If it's in abroad, you can telephone, right? You can telephone and can get the SMS, email signing, and you can cross check, right? Those things can be done, right? This is a manager's discretion, right? And why not you have the internet banking facilities? You can do the same thing. Or, right, and see your signature, SMS, email, telephone and email. You can call Mrs. TKS. Provided he has given the number, you call Mrs. TKS, I'm manager of, your husband has come here and he want to withdraw some money from your withdraw money from your fixed deposit where you has been a joint account holder, and he said it is an urgent requirement. Okay, what do you think? He said, okay, I told him, no problem, release. So, can you send me an email, madam? So, you can get an email with your signature, right? As a prudent manager, now okay, if you accept it, I ask you a very simple, practical question. Now, say you're a good manager, prudent manager, are you going to give the money to Mr. TKS or not? Now you got the concern from TKS. Mrs. TKS given in writing, right? All writing. Okay, now you as a prudent manager, are you releasing money to TKS, Mr. TKS? What action you can do? Any guesses? Somebody told me like SMS sending, no? Likewise, here, what prudent manager can do? Safeguarding, further safeguarding the bank. Rather than giving money to Mr. TKS, and you can send the check to where? You can send the check to to whom? To the school. And that is his requirement, no? Now, why he want to withdraw the money? Because he need to pay emergency personal requirement of school fees. Then you as a manager, without giving TKS money, okay, how much you want? I will draw a check, right? And address to the school. So then you know it is a real purpose. There are other. So these are some of the questions you need to understand like that. Without giving to the customer, okay, I will send to the school. So you are very much protected. Okay, because you have issued the check to the real true case. Right? Then why we are doing these type of questions? If the future questions comes, you need to look at it, all these options. Right? Don't give it to him, give it to the school. No problem. අපි දැන් මොකද housing මොකද බඩුවක් ගන්න ගියාම සල්ලි දෙන්නේ නැහැ නේ අතට අපි දෙන්නේ check එක ලියන්නේ එතනට. එතනට. So you are safe there. Bank is safe. Right. Next question. Right? All right. Mr. VPB has received a sum of $5,000 from USA, where the remitter's details such as address, account number are not available in the remittance. What action is available to you before crediting these proceeds to Mr. VPB? Ani apita ti me dasala dollars ne oni oha innono monawada neda patagala gannawa misa US $5,000 podi ganakut neme from USA. VPB tenne oha me prashna kara kara innawada account එකට ටක් ගාලා credit කරලා දානවාද මේ අපිට dollars නැතුවනේ ඉන්නේ නේද? No. So you can't do. So according to us, you cannot credit without getting the remitter's details, right? It is what activity? It is a punishable offense under money laundering activities taking place. So therefore, you cannot, just because of someone sent, you cannot credit it to the BPB account. We need to find it out because Sri Lanka may be ranked very the money laundering country. So we have a bad name, right? Money laundering country. So therefore, we have to be very vigilant. So we need to find it out sources of origin. Usually, we'll ask maybe. There may be a lot of cyber crimes taking place in the world, right? So therefore, you cannot credit to the Mr. VPB. Maybe Mr. and Mrs. VPB used for some criminal terrorist finance activities. So we need to find it out the sources of fund where we receive till such time we clarify we are put under control account. So you cannot remit to the account, right? So that simple as that. Okay, next one. I think this question we have done it. Can you remember Mr. NBS called low at the bank with court order to pay proceeds of a deposit belong to Mrs. DKS? Who is this? And however, on pursual mandate, you have found that Mr. DKS has submitted his duly filled nomination forms in favor of his son. What action? I don't want to explain no. Why? Because the nomination is supersede what? Last date. So therefore, even though Mrs. D's NDS come from the letter from the court order, so the money is belong to his son. He cannot, Mrs. NDS cannot take the money. But it is an advisable for here for you to obtain the instruction from your legal department. Legal department what actions you need to take. But you have to mention that even though it's a court order received from court order received by the bank, but there is a nominations done of Mr. DK's money to his son. Therefore, that money is not belong to Mrs. NDS, and you need to explain all these things to Mr. DS, as also send a letter to court, that the respective court where we get the court order explaining the nominations. Right now, I don't want to explain that one. I have already discussed this matter. That is comes under nominations. Last page. Okay. We move into now. Okay, now we have another 10 minutes. We try to finish in 2018 questions as well. Right? Okay. Now look at the question 2018. We try to finish quickly as possible. Mr. X is a long-lasting customer. Now you have noted that there's a word comes long-lasting customer. So that means, so we have to apologize. So something we have done wrong to that customer. Mr. X is a long-lasting customer of a bank. He has drawn a check for the payment of his electricity bill. Electricity bill and settle is just 2 days before his payment due date. Subsequently, the check has been returned due to the shortage of funds in the account amounting rupees 100 rupees. 200 rupees for the check return. Right. Now, what do you do? Right. So, what is the risk customer is facing? Disconnections of electricity power of his house. Right. And he may under the impression that there is enough money is lying in his account. As well as your long-lasting customer of X, what you can do, 100 rupees is not a big amount, right? Then you can honor the check under what type of OD, right? You can have a, you can issue a casual OD and sort it out this problem. Simple as that. You see the same question. Now here, rupiah siya adu hinda. එක පාරක් කිව්වා චෙක් එක රිටර්න් වෙලා අනිත් පාර කිව්වා account එකේ OD එකේ ස්ටෑන්ඩින් ඕඩර් එකේ සල්ලි නැහැ කියලා ආවේ නැහැ. එකම දේ අරගෙන එක එක විදියට. Right, next one. Mr. R is at the age of 75 years and believes in conventional banking system. Old person. And she believes in conventional banking system. Digitalization. Further, she does not have any knowledge about the modern methods such as ATM. She came to her bank and waited in the queue for 45 minutes to withdraw cash to pay for her medical expenses. Now what to do? Right, Mr. R. Right? Now he's been a 75-year person, felt tired for standing and waiting in the queue for 45 minutes, and it's not good for his health conditions. Right? Now, what say according to the customer charter, remember, so we have to have a special facility for our senior citizen and the customer charter only. So that show you you tell him, right? And as per the customer charter, you must provide a better services to your customer senior citizen. Now remember, senior citizens, what is the offer what you need to do? You must have a separate counter for senior citizen, right? If you have a specific the counter for senior citizen, if you don't have a counter, it is a duty of your officer to come and fulfill this requirement without keeping them in the queue. And also, despite the fact of Mr. R negligence about and believing about the conventional banking, you as manager, you can educate Mr. Ran R of having a ATM card and how it can operate, it's easy to operate, and to use of ATM card. Right? That's you need to say. Right? And then he may be willing to open get a ATM or debit card. Right? It is a duty for you to do. First thing, as a customer charter senior citizen, you must provide a better facility, right? And to have a separate counter according to the customer charter, like that. Third one, you must, as a manager, you need to educate him. Why not? Why you are waiting for here, right? You use debit card, get used to that. It's a very simple, and tell him how to operate, right? Educate. He may then willing to take, right? It is a duty of you to explain, right? Okay, next one. Very interesting question. Next one. Mr. Y visited his bank to withdraw cash amounting to rupees 500,000 from his current account to deposit money for his wife's urgent surgery. Accidentally, he left his checkbook at his house and could not draw the check to withdraw the money. The teller at the bank counter is new to that place and she refused to help them considering the amount. Hang on, I now use the issue, right? Now what happened? Customer of your bank who is having a current account of 500,000 and he want to withdraw his money, of course, of his wife's surgery. But he forgot to bring the checkbook. Is insisting the money. Now the teller, since 500,000, is refusing to issue 500,000 for Mr. White. Now then two important issues here. What to do? Now remember, why may not have sometimes ATM card, so debit card, because sometimes there may be a limitations. First, you need to check whether the Y is having a debit card. Now, there's a limitation. So maximum amount you can withdraw per day from the debit card. There are some banks are giving 100,000, some banks are giving 200,000. So, but still we look at it based on the, if the customer is maintaining his current account of so much of 500,000, right? That means he's a good customer. So therefore, we don't know whether the customer has special provision or special permitted to withdraw their limit of 500,000 per day. First, you need to look at it that. Otherwise, what happens? So then there's a withdrawal limit if it is the case. So what is the other solution you can have it? Go home and take the book. That of course you have no time to go there and take. Then the teller must usually need to be refer all some type of customers is a good customer of your bank, maybe refer to your senior officer or maybe to the manager. Right? That's a teller must be do. Because he can't attend to this question and he may refer rather than refusing, he may bring that customer to manager. Right? So the manager, what he can say, we will discuss with the Mrs. Y and would have given, but issue a, how you issue? You can issue a loose, I mean, what you call the loose leaf. We can give that and to the customer, and through that he can withdraw. Right? There are, we call them as issue a loose leaf. Right? Loose leaf එකක් දෙනවා customer ට. ඒක දෙන්න පුළුවන් manager ට. දීලා ඒක පුරවලා සල්ලි ගන්න. Right? Certain things you need to know. The last one. Right, the last point here. Mr. S is an employee at a government department and he took half an hour short leave to visit a bank and open savings account. He visited reputed bank branch as a customer, waiting for 10 minutes at the inquiry counter and to get information regarding the opening of a savings account. When a bank officer does arrive, he expresses his frustration at having to wait service. And the bank officer does not show any interest about this action indefinitely. So what you do is a banking issue, right? The customer had only 30 minutes to spend on the bank to open an account. They has been forced to wait for nearly 10 minutes at the inquiry counter and is not take any action somebody, and it is basically poor management to leave at the services point. Contacted point is a very poor management. So therefore you have to train your staff to handle how to talk politely with the customer, right? How to help customer find it out solution. That is why sometimes we have a customer relationship officers in the bank appointed, and he may move around and ask customers their problems. How can I help you, right? So you can initiate some position in the branch, and also most important thing, educate all employees how to talk to customer, how to handle the customer, and you may emphasize customer charter. Right? ඒ වටරන් ඔය තමුන්ගේ හිතලා marketing solution එකක් දෙන්න පුළුවන්. Right? And they send for the training program for customer services. This is how customer is our main business oriented persons, like that. Okay, right. So I think I have given some food for thought for the day, and look at it how the same questions comes in a different format, right? Okay, so I think time is now 3 o'clock, but I try to help you out by telling how to answer. First, excuse, remember. Then, root cause analysis. Visit the branch, visit the customer's place. With some compliments. Talk to him. That your problem is sorted out. 50% of anger customers come to your room as a manager. If you talk to him, offer a tea or cup of tea, right? Problem sort it out. Right? ඉතින් අපි පොඩ්ඩක් ඉවසන්න ඕන. Life also like that, no? If you're a married person, right? I don't know if you're married, but what to do? Best thing is either party to be patient. It was problem sort it out. Right? Okay, so I think I will help you to answer the questions like that. But in next week, so therefore we continue or we start the new session, and also it's an interesting area that is marketing. Right? So my sessions go till 12th April. So we are going to stop our lecture series. So till April, so we have another 4 weeks or so. So during these 4 weeks, we are going to cover the marketing. Okay, so we'll see you on next Sunday, and we discuss the marketing and try to answer these questions as well. If you have anything, ask from next week. So I'll try to answer that question. Okay, right. See you on next Saturday, next Sunday. Yes, go ahead.
But we didn't get this past paper question, the questions, sir.
This one?
Yeah, they have sent something, but I think they have mistakenly shared something.
My goodness. Sure. I have sent last Sunday, no, Huda.
Yeah, but I was waiting until on Monday also I was waiting, but we didn't receive those things.
And
But yesterday night I think they have sent, but they have sent the mistake, the wrong one.
Right. Okay. Now, if it is a case, Puta, please communicate to me. My number is not 777. Easy to remember, right? Not 777. 864202. Right? 864202. I will immediately attend. I will ensure that tomorrow.
Sir, can you repeat it again, please?
864202. 8, not 777. 864202. 8 minus 2. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
If you are not answer, just send me an SMS saying that you are a student, right, at FCM Sunday. So tell me the story. I will attend that. Right. If I not pick the phone, right, tell me an SMS.
No problem, sir. Thank you.
Right. I will attend, but I will ensure that all others are same.
Yes, sir. They are sending some other lectures mistakenly.
This was sent last Sunday, no? Okay, doesn't matter. I will ensure that you will get it this week, right? Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.